Do I have any friends? That's debatable. Anyway, hey guys, Swarzide. Back for more Pokemon Red. Here we are on Cinnabar Island, having finally reached it. Or at least it seems like a long time. Mainly because it took me so long to do the Seafoam Islands. I spent at least a couple hours in there. This guy, or this room, has a bunch of trades you can do that aren't as important as the other ones that I've shown you. This one, you can trade your Raichu for an Electrode. This one... Or, no, never mind, that's not one. Oh, the other two are in the other room, aren't they? Oh, nope. Person wants to trade Venonat for Tangela. We can catch Tangela actually on the next route, so not a big deal. Maybe there is only two. Yes, we're aware of Eevee. And this guy gives us the Metronome TM. Tweaks your Pokemon brain into using moves it doesn't know. It will literally use a random move out of all of the moves in the entire game. Oh, never mind, this guy. He will take your Ponyta for a Seal, which, given the fact that we have a Seal and we don't have a Ponyta, you can probably guess whether or not it's a good idea. Anyway, this guy is the most important thing in here. This guy will take your fossils, which I withdrew, and he will turn them into Pokemon. And he says go take a walk, which means step outside the door and come back, because he doesn't want you to see what he's doing. Okay, you have to leave the building. They made it easier on you in later games. Which is annoying because you walk really, really slowly. At least in terms of like the walking speed of the later Pokemon games. And then he like chastises you for being late. And Ammonite goes to the PC. And I will give him the other fossil and we'll talk about Omanyte. Or Ammonite, I really don't know. That's one of the pronunciations I don't really know. So anyway, Ammonite is a rock and water type. It is a fossil Pokemon, as you can probably tell that we resurrected it from the fossil. Its counterpart is Kabuto, or Kabuto. Another one I don't really know the pronunciations for. Anyway, both are really great Pokemon. However, since you can't get them until this point in the game, they're really not the best idea to use on your team. But they're both really good. Obviously, with rock and water being physical and special respectively, neither of them can gain the full... I don't know what I'm doing on the game, to be honest. Neither of them can gain the full use of their stab moves. However, Omastar, which is Omanite's evolved form, probably uses it a little better. Kabutops is like Scyther-esque with a better typing. At least in some cases. And now, from the old Amber, we got Aerodactyl, which is a rock and flying type, which is the fifth and final fossil Pokemon of this game. And it is a very, very good Pokemon. We'll get down to their entries right down here. Omanyte, the Spiral Pokemon. Although long extinct, in rare cases, it can be genetically resurrected from fossils. No frickin' way! Not like that's what we just did. That's Aerodactyl. A ferocious prehistoric Pokemon that goes for the enemy's throat with its serrated saw-like fangs. So there you go. There's the two fossil Pokemon that we chose. Other than that, there's not all that much to do in this town. The mart, nothing too special, I don't think. What do you have to say? No way. One thing you will notice, though, is if you try to go in the gym, the door is locked. And then the last Blaine is an odd man who has lived here for decades, yeah. So, and this is the extent of the island, so all that's left here is the Pokemon Mansion. which has some of the most interesting music of the entire game. And like a whole horde of Pokemon we haven't caught yet. Obviously the first being Ponyta. Ponyta is a fire type, evolves into Rapidash at level 40, so it's not too far off here. And won't take too much in order to train it. Ponyta and Rapidash are known for their speed, both being really fast. Oh, come on. Don't be like that, Ponyta. Thank you. Ponyta was caught. And it will be added for Ponyta. Fire Horse. Its hooves are 10 times harder than diamonds. It can trample anything completely flat in little time. That's very impressive. And you definitely don't want to be on the other side of the hooves. Found an escape rope. Yeah, I can just dish that. Don't need it taking up a spot in my inventory. Because I'm already wasting it with a bunch of other stuff anyway. There are a whole bunch of trainers in here. I'm not going to claim to know where they all are. The other gimmick of this place is secret switches on these statues. So you press the switch and it changes the shutters that are around the area. So you can get around to different places depending on which shutters are open. Here we have a coughing, which we've encountered plenty of. But now we finally get a chance to catch it. I believe it evolves into its evolved form Weezing at level 35. However, you can catch Wild Weezing in here, so we don't need to raise it, which is awesome. And that took nothing. Coughing was caught. Sweet. Poison gas. Because it stores several kinds of toxic gases in its body, it is prone to exploding without warning. No, I'm not nicknaming you Coughing. So, like I said, you can find both Coughing and Weezing in here, as well as Grimer and Muck, another pair of poison types. And, however, the rarity of their evolved forms is switched between Red and Blue. I think Red has a higher chance of finding Weezing than Muck. As in, the one that you don't have a good chance of finding is like 1%. So, I'll find it though. I stuck around and found Dugong and all that crap. I can find a Weezing, because Weezing's a much cooler Pokemon. In my opinion. Here we got a Grimer. And it's really weird to put this into perspective. Like, I never really thought much of Grimer and Muck and Coughing and Weezing for the longest time. And then, so it never really bugged me how late in the game you can get them. But then, there was one game where I decided I wanted to use a Muck. And I realized I couldn't get it until after I beat the 5th badge, at the very earliest. If I kind of sequence broke. So I did that, and it kind of bugged me getting a team member that late. Appears in filthy areas, thrives by sucking up polluted sludge that is pumped out of factories. Which apparently exist in Kanto, just not in an accessible map. Oh, come on, let me out of here. Coughing! Or, not it's not a Coughing, that's the point. It's a Weezing. That's the point. So, Weezing. Once again, we've encountered a lot of these. Oh, you jerk. Sludge, how much is that gonna do? That's not too bad. Catch it! Come on. Oh, come on. Well, at the very least, if Drake goes down, we can switch in Sean. There we go. Weezing was caught. Pokedex data will be added for Weezing. Where two kinds of poison gases meet, two coughings confuse into a wheezing over many years. Very strange. I'm not going to pretend to understand coughing anatomy. And there's actually a secondary exit right out here if you somehow the gate's altered. I'm going to dig out and go heal this poison off. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I looked it up, and yes, we do only have a 1% chance of finding muck, but it's throughout this entire area. So I'm just going to go through it, and if we get to the end, we'll be looking for muck. And it will be a fun time. So there are a couple trainers in here, not many, but just a few. A couple of them burglars, like this guy, who tend to use fire types and or poison types, and drop lots of money. That's what I was gonna say. So this guy's got a Charmander and a Charmeleon. Both of which will easily fall to Drake. And you never really thought you had a chance, did you? And Drake, you're level 12. Yes, level 12. No, level 42. Dread the days when Drake was level 12. Here. We're gonna switch. We'll switch Voldon up front. Why not? You can go up these stairs to just find a trainer and an item and a little book, which we want to read. Oh, hello, Ninetales. We haven't seen one of these before. This is Vulpix's evolved form. Fire type. Not too much to say about it. Great special stat, which unfortunately became its special defense, which make people think it's not a very good Pokemon anymore. Or I think I remember people saying that. No guarantees on that, because I don't really follow competitive battling or anything. Because I prefer more of a connection to my Pokemon. And my cat is desperate to get in this room, but I'm not going to let him. And on this table, and also spread throughout various little diary entries throughout this area. Diary, February 6th, Mew gave birth. We named the newborn Mewtwo. You know, the really strange part is that in the true context of this game, where Mew comes after Mewtwo, like in the Pokedex, and likely when you'll know about them, like besides reading these entries, it just doesn't really make sense to me why they would have references to Mew, especially, I'm sorry for my incoherent thoughts, but I just thought of something. So, I remember reading somewhere that some guy, I don't remember, new Pokemon was discovered deep in the jungle. That would be Mew. But, like, he slipped Mew into the game's code last minute, so a lot of the actual programmers didn't even know he was in there. So did they just come up with Mew and have it as a Pokemon and just not include it initially? Or what? Because why would they have references to Mew if they weren't going to put it into the game? I don't know, food for thought. It also kind of reveals the last legendary that we will be catching, and that I will do my best for it to be the 151st both seen and caught in our Pokedex. I will do my best. because I just think that would be really epic. Anyway, we're gonna hit the shutter, or the switch that changes the shutter, in order to see what's down here. Probably not much, because I know this isn't the way you're supposed to go. Another thing I want to know, are you guys annoyed that I leave so many random battles in? I mean, it doesn't really ever bug me. Yeah, this isn't even required. But it's come to my attention. It's just like I leave a lot of them in. More than I quote-unquote should. Probably. But we christened the newly discovered Pokemon Mew. So we read those in the incorrect order. We read them 3, 1, 2. I gotta hit the switch again. Still hoping we just conveniently find a muck before the end of this place, because that'd be awesome. Obviously, like you saw, the other Pokemon we can encounter in here is Growlithe and or Vulpix, depending on your version. Blue also has an exclusive Pokemon that resides at the bottom of this area. So, if you are playing Blue, look forward to that. Hit the switch. Okay, and then we'll go up these stairs to the top floor, which seems kind of counterproductive, like, because I told you there was a basement, and that's kind of where we're trying to go. The whole point of this area is to find the key to the gym, because it's way in the depths of this area. Let's check in here before we hit that switch. Another Weezing. Level 40, jeez. Just catch that and use it on my team. Nah. That'd be kind of a foolish move, considering it has absolutely no battle experience whatsoever. An iron. Alright, so now we want to hit this switch. Press it. It'll close that area off, but it will open this area. We're going to fight this guy, even though I'm pretty sure we don't need to. But I'm going to anyway. I just said we don't need... We're going to fight this guy, we don't need to, but I'm going to anyway. I could have just said we're going to fight this guy. Let's see how well a not very effective move does against this Magnemite. Wow, almost knocks it out. Really critical hit, mind you, but still. I'm about to use a Magneton. Go to Guardia for that. Oh, a weird noise. Let's use Bone Club. It's actually rather convenient having Guardia still have Dig, as well as, I don't know why I'm switching, but I guess I am. As well as Vakama having Earthquake instead of just having Guardia have all the ground moves. Because I've used Dig at least twice now to get out of dungeons. Mainly after... Found out I didn't switch my box when I had to replay through those a couple of videos. Because I, what did I do? I don't even remember. This is a completely optional area right here. It's just for nothing. I thought there was an item down here. God, my cat wants to get down here. Maybe it's supposed to be like a sneak preview into why you don't want to go this way. Or, go off this edge here. And then, if you can't tell, you can walk forward and jump down this pit. However, this is like the perfect segue to end the part off, so I'm going to. So anyway, I'll see you guys later, and we will plunge down this probably dangerous pitch. See you guys later.